If someone asks you how your business is going and your answer is busy, that is not the flex that you think it is. I used to wear this like a badge of honor. 12-hour days, inbox overflowing, I've always got something on, I've always got something to do. And I genuinely thought that meant that I was building something. I thought that working harder and the more hours that I put in, the more successful I was becoming. But I wasn't really actually building anything. I was just moving. I was just a busy idiot, right? Fast in every single direction, but I weren't really actually going anywhere. And the mad thing is, I didn't even realize it at the actual time, because when you're in the middle of it, busy feels productive. You're replying to messages, you're jumping on calls, you're creating content, you're updating spreadsheets, you're doing admin. And at the end of the day, you sit back and you realize and look and go, yeah, I've really grafted today. But then you look at the actual numbers and nothing has even moved. Revenue's probably the same, pipeline is the same, you're doing the same things that you were 6 months ago. And we get stuck in this trap when you're an entrepreneur and business owner. And it's this exact trap that keeps business owners stuck at this level for years. So today I want to talk about what actually changed for me in that area. And most importantly, what needs to change for you, right? If you're sat there right now nodding that this sounds really familiar. So the first thing that I need you to understand is that there's a massive difference between motion and momentum. Motion is activity. It is doing stuff, replying to emails, posting content, being on calls, ticking things off a list. Momentum is progress. It is the thing that actually moves the needle forwards in your business. It's the thing that generates revenue. It brings clients in, it builds systems, it creates leverage. And the problem is that most business owners fill their entire day with motion and not actual momentum, right? Because it feels the same from the inside. When you are replying to the 30th email or 30th message, or when you're spending 2 hours creating a single Instagram post, like, you might feel like that's work and it's productive. Or when you're stuck on back-to-back calls and you're just constantly on the go, you might again feel that's productive. But none of it is actually moving your business forwards, right? None of that is actually revenue generating or building something that compounds over time. And if you're going to be honest with yourself, look at your calendar and separate what is motion and what is momentum, and you'll be shocked at the actual findings that you'll have. And I sat down one Sunday night and I tracked every single hour of my week. And I was horrified with what I was doing on an admin perspective, because 70% of what I was doing was all just motion. Admin, low value tasks, things that felt urgent, but they weren't urgent. I was repeating the same thing and doing the same thing because I didn't have SOPs in place, right? And only 30% was focusing on actual momentum. And that was a massive, massive wake up call for me. So I'm going to break down the 5 biggest time traps that were keeping me busy and not productive, because I can guarantee you that you are falling into at least 3 of these right now. Number 1 is living in your inbox, right? If the first thing that you do every single morning is open your emails and start replying, then you've already lost your day, because now you're operating on everyone else's agenda. You're reacting to what other people need from you instead of doing what you need to do for your business. I used to spend the first 2-3 hours a day just going through emails and just going through WhatsApps, right? And what I was actually doing is giving the best hours of my day away, where my brain was sharpest, I had loads of energy, to other people's priorities. And you can't do that. Number 2 is then creating content without a system. I used to sit down on a day-to-day basis, manually creating everything, no AI supporting, no plan, no batch, no system, just vibes and energy. And that would eat away for like 90 minutes to 2 hours, right? When you multiply that across the week and you realize like how much you actually need to post, and then you're spending 60 minutes to 2 hours on a single element, like, you'll start to realize that you're not actually doing things to generate your business. You're not actually doing activities to generate things forwards, like, and you'll jump on everything. So eventually you're like taking a call here, taking a call there. You've still got this content to do. You've still got that admin, and we get basically stuck in this cycle, right? And you feel productive, right? But we're talking about business and not just doing business. Like, you need to make sure that you are on top of your systems. Number 4 is to then focus on what you actually need to delegate out, and then also what you need to be looking at building SOPs for. All that stuff, right, is something that someone else can do, right? I told myself a long time ago that no one else can do what I do, no one else can do this, like, and it's a code for I just don't trust someone, or I haven't built a system, or I haven't built an SOP, and you need to get over that quickly, because people can do stuff for you. Number 5 from that point is then making everything perfect, right? Rewriting a caption, rewriting an email, rewriting copy, rewriting a lead magnet, because I was doing it manually and then basically second guessing myself with everything that I was doing. And again, all of these activities just didn't move the needle forwards in the company, right? And it just made me feel like I was doing quality work, like, when in reality I was just procrastinating, right? I wasn't actually focusing on things that actually mattered inside my company. And honestly, most business owners operate in exactly the same. They're operating from a place of reactivity rather than response, right? Response is something that I use for my clients all the time. A message come in, reply. Email comes in, reply, right? You're firing, putting out fires, new fire, putting that fire out. Like, that's not running a business in any way, shape, or form. That is basically being run by your business, is probably the best way I could describe that. And there's a massive difference to make this shift in yourself and get to that point, right? Running a business means that you decide what gets done today, what the priorities are. You will look at what your time is needed and what areas need the most amount of time and attention. Right? Being run by your business is where you are constantly flapping to keep up on what you need to do based on what everyone else wants for you, right? Whether it's a marketing plan, sales, or whatever it may be. Like, the biggest problem that you've got right now is the fact that you are stuck. I can promise you, because I've been there myself. And until you start to understand where your time and energy is going, right, it doesn't matter if you've got the best offer in the world. It doesn't matter how many fires you're putting out in a day. It doesn't matter how many emails you're replying to, or how many WhatsApps you're on, or how much time and attention you're giving to other people, right? The problem is scalability. The problem is the fact that you've not bought time back, and you are actually the bottleneck because you are not putting time and effort into revenue generating activities built around momentum. Like, it's as straight as that every single time. And it's insane when you think about it. Like, you are literally letting random people decide what your day looks like. Right? And I'm not saying you don't reply to these emails, because you obviously do need to do it. But there's a massive difference between checking on emails and with set times during the day and doing it in batches versus reacting and responding to every notification that comes through, right? So now I only check my notifications twice a day. Generally, I don't even have phone notifications on my phone, because I'll have a time block where I'll go to Instagram, I'll go to WhatsApp, I'll go to my emails, because I'm not going to get into a workflow where I'm getting distracted left, right, and center based on what everyone else and other people want for me, right? So if you're in that spot right now and you're sat trying to do work and your phone is buzzing, remove the buzz, right? Like, it can wait, right? It's not that urgent. If it's urgent, then you'll get around to it and you'll be able to do it properly rather than rushing the response for that person and what they actually need. So what I want you to do, and I'm genuinely being serious about this, like, don't just nod along and basically come onto YouTube and then forget about it afterwards, right? I want you to take, right, your last 5 working days and categorize every single hour. Write down exactly what you did. Genuinely write down exactly what you did. Not what you planned, not what you think that you did, what you actually did in the last 5 days. And then from that point, I want you to sort those hours into 2 columns. Column 1 is momentum, and that is basically everything that generated momentum, building systems, leverage, moving the business forwards. Column number 2 is emotion, so that's admin, editing, posting, scheduling, replying, right? And then I can genuinely promise you, right, you'll probably be sat thinking, oh my God, I'm just living and I'm working in motion. And I know that because it was the same for me. But you need to see it in front of you, and you can't unsee it once it's down on pen and paper. And then you realize that you're spending 40 hours a week and only 10 hours of that is actually going into things that's productive to move your business forward. And then the question from that point is, well, what can I do if I actually buy that time back? And what can I use to actually buy that time back? And where would I put that time into my business? Like, your business would explode. You've got to this point now, probably stuck in what you're doing. So imagine if you bought that time back to put it into high ROI activities, right? So what I want you to do, right, is every Sunday evening or every Monday evening, I want you to properly plan your week out, right? Not a vague list, but I want you to have a to-do list of what you need to do, and then categorize time blocks into your calendar every single week on a Monday, right? So I have content blocks, I have delivery blocks, I have sales blocks, I have admin blocks, I have strategy blocks. Like, I have blocks that are completely non-negotiable. If someone wants to book a call with me, then the answer is no, right? In those blocks, that is where I focus on stuff for my business, for my clients, and what I need to do. I don't take reactive calls or reactive meetings. Like, they are protected time spaces, right? And that level of intention is what will separate a business owner from someone who is stuck versus someone who is scaling, someone who is busy and someone who is actually actively doing the right things, because they're protecting time ruthlessly, right? And they know that that is their most valuable asset, because I know it is for me now, and I want it to be the same for you. So I know what you're probably thinking right now, but I can't do that. My clients need me. Things come up. I've got to be flexible. Like, genuinely, of course, you need to have some kind of flexibility, but flexibility does not mean that your entire calendar is open for anyone to fill in and jump into it at any point. Flexibility is where you are going to reply to people at set times and not just responding and reacting to everything that's coming onto your plate on a day-to-day basis. Like, that is just busy chaos. That is just not going to do anything to move your business forward. So A busy day would be waking up, checking your phone, replying to messages, opening emails, jumping on a random call with someone at a random time, then doing some more admin, then doing some more editing, then doing some more content editing, then doing some scheduling, then going onto Instagram. Like, and I know what these days look like because I've literally lived them myself. Like, and I know that it'll sound familiar to you, right? Whereas if you're looking at it from a strategic standpoint, right, you wake up, you don't touch your phone in the first hour. Straight up, do not open your notifications on your phone. If you're going to train like I do, train first. You sit down, you have your to-do list, and you're focused on your highest value activity every single day that moves your business forwards, right? Once you've done that, have a little bit of a break, right? Then from that point, you can go into your communication blocks, your emails, your messages, your responses, or just do it all in one go like I do. Then after that, you've got your delivery work, stuff for clients, stuff for projects, right? And then at the end of the day, if you've got extra time, if you're not paying someone or you can't get AI to do it for you, that's when you can do your low value stuff with like admin activity and everything else, right? Two very similar days, right? But completely different outputs just on a structuring perspective, right? So this is where it starts to get a little bit interesting, right? Genuinely, because everything I've said is about, it basically becomes 10 times easier when you've got AI involved. You know I'm into AI, you know that's what I'm about now, right? So what I want you to do is once you've built those columns and you've got your momentum and you've got your motion, right? What I want you to do is I want you to think about, can AI do this for me? That's all you need to do with AI is ask that question. You could even submit your to-do list into AI and ask AI how it can do it for you with Claude projects or with Cowork to actually work for you. That's how simple it is. Like what used to take me, I'm not going to say 10 hours to 2 hours. What used to take me 12 months, I can now do in 60 minutes. Like that's the level I'm at with agentic coding at the moment, right? But once I've got these systems in place, right, all I was doing is focusing on momentum work, right? And it's a compound effect. You're not just saving time, you are basically redirecting the time into things that actually grow your business. If you're rushing content all the time, get all your admin and get all your manual stuff off your plate so then you can put more time and effort into your personal brand, right? You need to think about where you're spending your energy, right? And also, what about your relationships? What about your family life? What about your headspace? What about your fulfillment? Like, that's what AI does for me. It's not just about like it does all stuff for me now, but it's giving me more time for headspace and freedom than I've ever had before. And it's just two completely different situations, right? So I'm going to leave you with this, right? Every single Sunday night when you're planning your week, I want you to ask yourself this question. If I could only work 5 hours this week, right, what would I actually spend them on? Just 5 hours, right? What would actually make the cut? Because it's what makes the cut is the thing that you should actually be focusing on. Whereas we end up stuck as busy idiots, and I'm literally number one busy idiot, trust me. Like I've learned that lesson hard in the last decade, right? But life and business is messy, right? So in reality, the more that you can condense things down into a hyper-focused 5 areas on a week-to-week basis, it's going to stop you doing 25, 30 things at a half-arsed effort, right? 5 areas, spearhead them, right? And that is where you will make the most amount of progress, right? And if you don't, you will stay busy. You will stay overwhelmed, right? You will hit the same ceiling month after month with everything that you are doing. And this is just from a perspective of how AI can support you with buying time back. But even from your human skills and management perspective with to-do lists, time blocking and structures, like it can completely change the game for you in terms of what you can actually produce and what you can create on a 7-day or a 5-day basis, right? So when you move into this now, right, awareness is the first step. Just actually having awareness for what am I actually doing. Genuinely ask that question. What am I even doing on a day-to-day basis? What am I even doing on a week-to-week basis, right? Audit absolutely all of it. Audit all of it and then build your list. Build your motion list, build your momentum list. Get them, stick them into AI and literally just go, where can AI help me with this, right? So with the coach consultant, right, my beliefs, and not beliefs, but the results that I've generated for my own company, I've generated for my Smart Scaling program, Propel program, and Titan program, is AI enables you to just remove the guesswork. That's the biggest thing that I've not spoke about today is how much time do you actually spend not doing things because you are overthinking what you need to do? I know full well that question right there has hit you so hard. What are you spending so much time on right now trying to do something and not actually even doing it because you're overthinking it. That's what AI brought back for me. It brought back clarity, not only with the level of intelligence, the training, the structures, the outputs, the manual tasks to take it off of me. It enabled me to build a predictable growth engine in terms of content, in terms of lead generation, in terms of my ad intelligence, my email intelligence. I've doubled my social media followers. I have then, my lights just gone off in my office, which is really annoying. Should come back on. There we go. I've doubled my social media followers. My emails are sitting at 59% open rate. I've been able to 4x my ad spend because I'm so confident with everything on the actual ads and creatives because of the intelligence that's coming back. Like, there is no area of any business out there that this stuff does not support at serious high level. And if you want to find out about how we can literally give you genuinely, not even just for a copy and paste SOP, no tech skills, if you can read, copy and paste, then you can set up a AI system that would be running at over £100,000 a month in staff wages. And that's not a claim. I've literally done that myself in the last 12 months and increased the profit margin of my own company by 28%. And I've done it for many other people as well. So if you do want to find out about what we do at the Coach Consult, and not only just for that, but the community, the events, the live calls, the building a personal brand element, which is so important, which is the fight against AI. That's all this comes down to. If you adopt AI, it'll change your life. If you build a personal brand, you'll stand out in this era. And that is the single two things that we focus on, to bring AI intelligence into it, to remove as much guesswork as possible and create as much predictability for your actual growth as possible so you can stop guessing. And if you want to find out more, hit the link in my description, go to the top one, drop in an application, hopefully with the right fit, and I'd love to see you on a call and see you inside my program at some point. Thank you.